Hi, John with eTrailer. Hey, today we're taking a look at eTrailer's Class 3 receiver hitch on our 2016 BMW X5. So up close on our hitch, you can see it is a 2-inch by 2-inch reinforced collar receiver tube. This is one of the most popular sizes out there on the market. It has a matte black powder coat finish on it. It also has a hidden cross tube. This is the only part of the hitch you're going to see is just the receiver part. The rest of it is tucked up back behind the bumper. I kind of like that. It has a nice factory appearance on this BMW. You don't have all this bulky stuff down below. As far as the 2-inch size here, this is going to be the most popular size out there for if you're shopping for bike racks, cargo carriers, or even if you're towing. You're going to have a ton of accessories for this class of hitch. Now, as far as the chain hangers here, it'll accept even a large size clevis or some standard S hooks. Now, this hitch does not include a pin and clip, so if you're going to be towing and you're new to towing, you need one of these. This is a 5/8 inch diameter pin and clip. We have these available here at eTrailer. We also have some that lock if you'd like that for a little bit more security. If you are in the market for cargo racks and bike racks, keep in mind that those accessories typically come with the pin and clip. So speaking of accessories, let's get some dimensions here and measurements. So that'll help you when you're choosing your accessories. So off the ground to the top of the inside of the collar here, it's 14¼ inches. And then from the center of the pinhole to the edge of our fascia here is 5 inches. Now those numbers are important if you're looking to tow or have cargo carriers and stuff like that. You need to know whether or not when you're towing, if you're going to need a ball mount that has a rise to it to match up with your trailer, or with accessories that fold up, like some of the cargo carriers and bike racks that we offer here. They fold up, and you want to know if they're going to impact the back of your bumper here. Some more numbers to talk about when you're going to be choosing accessories or when you are towing. How about some weight capacities? We got 606,000. That's 600 pounds that you can load up on the tongue weight. That's going to be the pressure putting down on the hitch. And then 6,000 pounds of gross trailer weight ratio. That's going to be the weight of your trailer, any cargo that you have in it or on it. Now, of course, check with your BMW's owner's manual to find out how much you can actually tow. Final thoughts on this hitch. I do like the hitch. I like the way that it looks on our vehicle. I like the hidden cross tube, and like I said, the Class 3, the 2-inch receivers, those are the most popular out there on the market. You have just such a wide variety of accessories that you can choose for this. Now, as far as installation goes, this is I'm going to say a very involved installation. There are some special tools that you need. You're going to be drilling out plastic rivets. I think not everything came in the kit. I think that they could have improved on the kit to install it, but if you're wondering what it takes to install our trailer hitch on your BMW, stick around, we'll show you. So let's begin the hitch install. First thing we're going to do is we're going to be removing the rear tail lights here. So we need to open the hatch and come inside the cargo compartment. Now once inside, you're going to have 2 panels on either side. Just pop one panel off, and if you take a look inside, you're going to have 2 8mm screws and nuts, and so we're going to take the 2 8mm nuts off and then disconnect the electrical harness. You're going to press right there on the center tab, slide out like that. Now, the easiest way that I found to get these out is to use a plastic hammer and just keep your hand on the outside. Make sure that that we're disconnected, and just kind of tap on these studs. It's not a whole lot of room here, but like that, and the entire assembly will come out. Just set this off to the side. It's the exact same process on the passenger side. Now let's move around over here to the driver's side, and we're going to be removing and drilling out some plastic rivets along this section right here. We have to pull this trim back. There's going to be an 8mm bolt here that we have to unbolt. Inside the wheel well are the plastic rivets, and these get drilled out. Something I want to say is that the kit comes with replacement plastic clips, but they only give you 2 per side. And in the instructions, they want you to just take off the 2. There's a third one up here that I found is worth drilling out. There's so much pressure on this outer trim piece when you're trying to peel this back and get to the 8mm bolt back here that it's truly a risk of either cracking or deforming this outer trim panel. Now, we have plastic rivets and rivet guns here at eTrailer that would work just fine for this instance, and if that's not what you're looking at, then you can source either some just like this or push and pull type on the internet. This is what I recommend. This is just one of those things that I think they should have included in the kit, and it was kind of an oversight on their part. So when drilling these out, just aim for the middle. Don't go too deep. Get a trim tool and just work that out. The center will stay in here and push through. So just repeat that for the bottom one and then the one up here on top. Once the rivets are drilled out, there's 2 push pin fasteners, one here at the bottom and then one about in the middle right here. I found it's easier to remove those. That way we can gain access to the clips that are holding this trim piece on. Pop that out. The center section should come out first. There we go. Now that same style of clip that was on the inner fender well is also going to be at this location here, and this needs to be removed as well. Then we can take the inner fender well and just kind of peel it back so that we have access behind this. And if you reach your fingers behind it, you're going to feel the tabs and the clips that need to come out. You're going to be feeling for the clips that are holding this in. Just take your time. There's going to be one there, one here. What we're doing is pushing down on that center tab. One here, one here. We're going to have one up here. And this was the one that was nearly impossible without getting that other, drilling out that third rivet. You may just have to use a trim tool. We have these available here at eTrailer, and I'll show you right here. We're going to be pushing in and sliding this in here. We don't have to worry too much about the paint. There we go. Okay. Now you can see the 8mm bolt that we were trying to get to. Okay, we'll remove this bolt and then do the same thing on the other side of the vehicle. When removing these reflectors, these are brittle and they love to break. And I just wanted to show you, I took the side, the passenger side out real quick, and I want to show you what I'm doing here. There's a clip on the bottom of this that I pushed up first. I started in the middle, and you'll see on this one here, I'm not applying any pressure. I just put our plastic trim tool in there just to hold it out from that clip. And it's going to pivot on this side. So we're going to be working the center here and then this clip over here. So it'll be very similar to this right here. So I pushed up and I have it popped out right now. And then on this side, I've got a Phillips screwdriver that I wedged up in there. And basically, because I can't reach my hand up there, this has backup sensors in it and you just can't get your hand up there. So I've taken the Phillips screwdriver in there and I'm pressing against the tab here and kind of pushing out at the same time. So all I'm doing with the lever here is just keeping it from popping back in. got a flashlight back behind the bumper so I can see when I have my screwdriver in the right location here. These are just notorious for breaking, so you just want to take your time. There we go. And there it is. And you can see my screwdriver here, but it actually clips on the back side in this hole. So it's pushing this way and popping out at the same time. So that worked for me. And by the way, we had to go through all of that because BMW decided to put an 8mm bolt here that we need to remove. And do this on both sides. Now on the bottom of the fascia here, we're going to have 6 8mm fasteners around this edge here. Back where when we remove the taillights, we'll also have 1 8mm bolt on each side of the car. Before we remove the fascia, it's a good idea to get some painter's tape and just get some tape along the edges here. That way, while you're taking it off, if one of the panels comes up a little bit, you won't have to worry about scratches. Since this one is painted body color, we'll go ahead and tape this up as well. And do this on both sides. Cheap insurance. Now when it comes to removing the fascia, look, this tool is really becoming invaluable for this BMW. We're going to start up here at this clip where the tail light is. You just reach in, push down. If you come to the center section here with this tailgate, you can see we have plastic tabs here that are going to need to unlock. So when the 1, 2, 3, looks like 4 of them here. You're just kind of lifting and pulling back at the same time. We just work our way down and pulling up and out at the same time. So those are loose over the exhaust. Now you want to check for connectors. You just squeeze the connector on either side to release it and set the fascia off to the side. Now we're going to be removing the bumper beam. There's going to be 4 bolts on each side. You can see the bottom ones down here. The top ones will be exposed when you lower the tailgate. Now, like on our model here, you may have covers on these top 2 bolts. They're just kind of beauty covers. They basically just thread on. You just take some pliers to loosen them up and then just untwist them with your hand. They're not going to be very difficult. We'll be using an 18mm socket. We'll leave that nut on while we loosen the other side. Now each BMW is going to be set up just a little bit different. In our case here, before we took the lower bumper beam down, I noticed that we had a wire that was wrapped around it, and it leads over here and over to this sensor. So the easiest thing for us to do right now is just disconnect this. And this will just give us some room. It's also attached to the bumper, so I'm going to need a trim panel tool. Get behind that right here and remove this. Set this over to the side there, and we'll reinstall it once we're done with the hitch. All right, with all the nuts removed, then we can remove the bumper beam. Now this bumper beam is not going to be reused. The hitch is going to replace the bumper beam. Now we just mount the hitch where the bumper beam was located. In our kit, we're going to have supplied hardware. It's going to be the nuts. We're going to have a conical teeth washer. These teeth here, they're going to face the hitch. So it'll get 4 per side. Snug these up and torque them to the specs that are in your installation manual. Now just to note, the new hardware is not 18 millimeter, it's 3/4. Probably a good idea to torque this in a cross pattern. Now with the hitch torqued up, don't forget to hook the sensor up back here again. Looks like we'll just have to come under. Now in the instructions, they're going to tell you that you need to trim the fascia for the hitch, but in our instance, we did not have to. So don't just blindly trust the instructions. Go ahead and test fit your bumper to make sure if you need to trim to begin with. And we don't, so let's put the bumper on. Now we've got our bumper fascia pretty much placed where it needs to go and kind of clipped in. So just go ahead, replace all the fasteners, and then when it comes time to do the new plastic rivets that came with the kit, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we have pretty much everything back together, and we can take a look at the new fasteners that come with your kit. These are easy enough. These are just going to use a Phillips screwdriver. So you place them in there and then tighten them down. Now what we're going to be using for the third one is a plastic rivet and rivet gun, and there's kits out there available. Start with the ones that came with our kit, and this simply will go in there and just kind of give it gentle pushing pressure as you do this. So you may have to push pretty hard with your thumb to get it started, and then it will tighten up. Now if you go the route with the rivets, just load that into your gun and make sure the rivet gets inserted all the way into the hole. And then finish that out. And that was a look at eTrailer's Class 3 receiver hitch on our 2016 BMW X5.